where you can go, where Marilyn's still dancing with DiMaggio and Juliet, with Romeo, and the name of the place is love. They put their hearts into a song, but hit parades and heroes, how they've come and gone. No one got home, but they got on, and the name of the game was love. There is a star, high in the sky, There's a little piece of yesterday still in your eye, to show that dreamers never die. For we live in a place called love. There is a place where you can go, where Marilyn's still dancing with DiMaggio and Juliet, with Romeo, and the name of the place is love.
Redleg Boy by Ed Rose. Part 5. Ron Smiley's Quest. Ron Smiley was the last prospect in a long line of ball players that was scouted by the former manager of the Kane Mountaineers, Pop Kelchner. A crackerjack shortstop from Mount Penn High School, Smiley signed a contract with the St. Louis Cardinals in September of 1957. Always a baseball devotee, when he retired from his marketing position at IBM in the year 2000, Smiley looked for a project that he could submit for publication to the Society of American Baseball Research. That's when I really began to dig into Pop's legacy, he says. To my surprise, the only information that I could find out about Pop back then was that he was a professor of languages at Albright and a scout for the Philadelphia A's, St. Louis Browns, and St. Louis Cardinals. His limited baseball dossier also said that he had signed Joe Medwick and Rip Collins. I really couldn't believe that there was so little data available about this man who was truly a giant of the game. But Smiley says it was a 2002 TV program that provided the real spark for what is now his life's work. On ESPN's Outside the Lines, broadcast hosted by Bob Lee on July 22nd, Dale Petrosky, then president of the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum, admitted that baseball scouts are an integral part of baseball, but he said that those folks are in a category that is once or twice removed from what actually happens on the field. He said that the scouts' contribution is impossible to quantify. I really didn't like his use of the words, "those folks," and it lit a fire under me. It was at that moment that I was committed to quantifying Pop's career to prove that his overall accomplishments more than met the Hall of Fame standard for admission. The stated mission of the Hall of Fame is honoring by enshrinement those individuals who have had exceptional careers and recognizing others for their significant achievements. The Hall of Fame has elected broadcasters, sports writers, and executives, says Smiley. And I'd have to say that each of these honorees also made his mark off the playing field, just like Pop Kelchner. He signed 60 future major leaguers at a time when scouts uncovered talent on their own, rather than just monitoring prospects like they do now in today's vast scouting systems. Pop was a sophisticated college professor that spent his summers in the back alleys and backwoods in places like Kane and Clearfield, hunting diamonds in the rough by his own unique methods, says Smiley, and he dedicated more than 50 years of his life to professional baseball. As I continued to promote my research on Pop, I became increasingly irritated with the lack of courtesy that was showed to me by the National Baseball Hall of Fame, says Smiley. Even though I'm a member of the organization, they have had a total disregard for the work that I have sent off to them, giving me no response in return. Dale Petrosky and the rest of the Hall of Fame board completely ignored my efforts. That's why I just can't quit on Pop. To this date, the only person who has at least been kind enough to acknowledge my research is the current president, Jeff Idelson, he adds. Maybe there is at least a ray of hope now. But Smiley has not stopped with the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in his labor of love to preserve the memory of one of baseball's all-time great characters. Through his efforts, Pop Kelchner's career has been formally recognized by the Philadelphia A's Historical Society, and Pop was also a 2008 candidate for election into the Shrine of the Eternals, an annual award sponsored by the Baseball Reliquary, a Los Angeles-based nonprofit organization dedicated to fostering an appreciation of American art and culture through the context of baseball history. And Kelchner, a 1967 honoree of the Pennsylvania Sports Hall of Fame, was also inducted into Reading's Baseball Hall of Fame in 2008, thanks to Ron Smiley's efforts. According to a July 6, 2008 story in the Reading Eagle by sports writer Mike Drago, Smiley began researching Kelchner's career and then went on a letter-writing and promotional campaign that continues to this day. He has compiled a 60-page binder that includes every detail of Kelchner's life and has sent it to dozens in the media and in baseball, including every member of the Hall of Fame's board of directors. According to Drago, the St. Louis Cardinals Hall of Fame is considering honoring Kelchner, but Smiley said he has never had a formal response from the National Baseball Hall of Fame, despite his persistence. His achievements are greater than some of the players who are in the Hall, Smiley says. There's no reason a scout should not be in the Hall of Fame. It's an injustice to the profession and an insult to Pop. Having compiled boxes upon boxes of information about Kelchner in his almost 10 years of research, Smiley admits to occasionally needing extra inspiration to continue waging what amounts to his own political war with Cooperstown's Illuminati to get Pop Kelchner his due. He says he holds very dear the many letters of support he receives from people like Max Silberman, the vice chairman of the Philadelphia A's Historical Society, and former baseball executive Roland Hemond, who now works for the Arizona Diamondbacks. As the last in the line of Pop's boys, Ron Smiley fell short of making it big as a professional baseball player more than 50 years ago. That's why he accepts the burden of getting Kelchner elected in the Hall of Fame as his own personal quest. Pop gave me my best chance in the game many years ago, and it's time to pay him back, Smiley says. Whether Smiley finally succeeds in earning Cooperstown's attention for Pop or not, he knows that the former manager of the 1907 Kane Mountaineers, who was baseball's immortal Dean of Scouts, is smiling down upon him for his efforts. And like former Pirates broadcaster Nellie King, even today, Smiley can hear Pop's high-pitched voice, still imploring as he did generations of ball players from the sidelines with his cheers, yip, 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 yip,